I, 27 male, made some accidental good financial decisions years ago that put me in a position where I can do mostly what I love, mess with all kinds of electronics, play video games a lot, etc. I'm a huge nerd. I own a small electronics/computer shop where I fix customers' devices, etc. I also sell general computer stuff and other small electronics. I live in the same building. I don't spend all my time in the shop. I have 2 workers who work in shifts, and I work when I feel like it or when they ask for help. I also replace them when they need a vacation or sick days. I have a sister, Jane, 34, and she has 3 kids. Mary, a young female teen, Julia, a young female grammar schooler, and Jack, a male preschooler. And as I'm the only one with, basically, unlimited free time to watch the younger kids, Mary doesn't need to be watched anymore, but she often hangs out in my shop either way. I do it every time the kids are sick, or my sister's on a business trip for her work. And after the global issue, kids are sent home for every tiny cough and sneeze. What happened? My grandmother had her 80th birthday, and everyone was invited, even relatives I don't remember ever seeing before. My sister and I were sitting close to each other, and suddenly one older lady, who was maybe my grandmother's cousin or something, started to ask everyone what they do. I told her that I run a small business, and my sister, out of nowhere, "Yeah, by running a business, he means being very lazy and sleeping until noon, sometimes chilling out in the store and playing video games or watching movies all day, while some of us had to work hard for their success." This is all technically true. At the same time, she studied her whole life. I went to trade school and got lucky with a few business decisions. Still, I felt kind of hurt that she forgot that for her to get all that education, others had to watch her kids. So I said, "Oh, don't forget that I'm also a full-time free babysitter," but I decided to quit and focus on being lazy. She didn't say anything more and didn't take me seriously either, as a week later, I got a phone call in the morning that Jack threw up at night a few times. She would bring him to my place, and I said, "Don't you remember that I quit, as I'm way too lazy to watch the kids," and ended the call and went back to bed. When I woke up later, there were multiple messages from my sister telling me that I'm a selfish idiot and I act like I'm the center of the world. I replied politely, "Sorry you feel that way." Later, my mother called and told me that I put my sister in a really tough position, as she, Mom, can't take days off from the hospital on such short notice either, and Jane has nobody to watch the kids. Am I the idiot for not watching them? I'm not hurt because of the truth. I know I'm lazy, but it hurts that she acts like watching her kids has been nothing. Edit. Where's the father of the children? The father of the oldest is nowhere to be found, and the father of number 2 and 3 is a truck driver, so he's only home on weekends, and sometimes even every other weekend. Not the idiot. Your sister ruined a very good situation she had by crapping all over you in front of everyone for no good reason. Now she has to deal with the consequences of her own actions. The core issue here is the utter lack of respect. Don't back down, or she'll see that she can get away with anything. She'll lose all respect for you and be more contemptuous of you than ever. Giving in would not result in you being more appreciated. It's sad, but that's the way it is. Your sister bit the hand that was helping her. Welcome to the consequences. She should have thought about that before deciding to unleash what she thinks of you. It's not your problem. Like the vast majority of other parents, she can hire a sitter. Too bad all her education and hard work didn't teach her not to look a gift horse in the mouth. I bet your sister never left money for their food either. Yep, your sister's jealous, working in what I bet is a demanding position in a demanding field, while OP has set himself up with a successful business that allows him to operate autonomously and with flexibility that allows him to take care of her kids on last-minute notice. OP is not lazy. Sis is just jealous and compares their situations and then wants to blame him. So now she loses out. I have a different take. OP, you are the idiot. I get why you're upset, but permanently destroying the relationship over a few comments seems extreme. Your sister resents that she has to work hard and manage kids, while you got lucky and don't. Should she have sniped at you in front of others? No. The result is that nephews and nieces will now be the kids dosed with ibuprofen and sent to school sick because the parents simply cannot take off the kind of work that having multiple kids who may get sick requires. If they aren't actively puking, they'll have to go too. If your sister resented you before, this will be a whole new level. Can you do this? Yep. Nothing's stopping you. Everyone will tell you you owe them nothing. Enjoy your extra free time and feeling of happiness over screwing someone over. About 3 years ago, my sister Daphne got pregnant. She and her husband Jim were thrilled, but found out at the 20-week scan that the baby had a congenital condition and would be born severely disabled. Daphne decided to keep going with the pregnancy despite Jim's protest, and they split up, but they got back together by the time their son Liam was born. He's now a toddler. Over the last 2 years, Daphne's and Jim's mental health has declined significantly. Daphne used to be a positive and pleasant person, but now it's impossible to converse with her. She's malicious and envious and flies off the handle at any perceived slight. When I was having my child, I didn't speak to her for most of the pregnancy because of how bitter and selfish she was. We don't live close to Daphne, so we rarely see her in person, but I heard she was getting worse from our parents. In early November, Daphne had a mental breakdown. She trashed Liam's room completely and vandalized Jim's car in a fit of rage. This was enough to finally get her moved up the waiting list for mental health services, and she started therapy. She reached out to me during this time, and we had a few conversations. I invited her and Jim to visit my husband and me for a March vacation at our beach house. Then we saw Daphne and Jim over Christmas, and it was awful. Daphne could keep herself in check for a couple of hours, but then she would revert to her old self. She would swear constantly, and while I know Liam can't understand her, I think swearing at kids isn't okay. Whenever I expressed concern for her, she'd just snap that I needed to get off my high horse about having a perfect child. Jim was snapping at her constantly. He also constantly asked to hold or play with my child, which got annoying. Overall, the whole Christmas break was just the whole family being anxious over the situation. My husband finally said a week ago that he didn't want Daphne and Jim visiting, and I agreed. I called Daphne and said something had come up with my husband's work, and we needed to cancel the trip. Daphne was furious. Apparently, her therapist had been saying how good this break would be for her. They haven't been on vacation since having Liam, and I owed her this one thing to help her. Eventually, she gave up and said I was horrible for pulling the rug out from under her and hung up. I feel bad if I'm derailing her recovery, and even my parents think I shouldn't have canceled, which is making me rethink things. They saw how horrible she was to me over Christmas. They saw how obsessed Jim became with my child, and they still think I should have put that aside. They're generally not the keep the peace people, so maybe I'm in the wrong. Am I the idiot here? Edit. Another thing that gets thrown in my face a lot is that I won't gift Daphne money to hire specialized care. Not the idiot. While your sister's mental health issues are tragic, her behaviors during Christmas pretty much told you what you and your family can expect during another visit. You most certainly did not derail her recovery. Part of therapy is learning to deal with setbacks. She needs much more help than you can provide, including finding specialized babysitting for her son. You don't owe her or your parents the stress that she'll put you and your family under. Canceling the trip was the right call. You won't be able to predict what she'll do. Your stepsister has a history of destructive behavior, trashes rooms, vandalizes cars, and you're supposed to play nice during a vacation? Your own mental health and your family's well-being matter too. It looks like she's getting too attached to your child. I know this comment isn't helpful to OP, but when professionals advise you to terminate one's pregnancy, one should heed that advice. They have real-life ongoing consequences for the child parents, and extended family. Daphne made a very selfish decision and is now expecting everyone to help. I'm the dad of 2 teen boys. They're pretty lucky that our finished basement is their junior man cave. It's not my doing. The previous owner was a gym rat and really fixed it up. Besides their bedrooms, there's a little gym area with a couple of machines, free weights, and even the world's tiniest locker room with 3 lockers and a bench, etc. It opens into a large walk-in shower, a mini version of an actual locker room gang shower, about 5 to 7 feet. The boys think this basement is their kingdom, and they love it. So do their friends. When it comes to showering, it's not unusual for them to just leave the water running and jump right in after the other finishes. It's not unusual for them to overlap. In fact, it's common if they're in a hurry to jump in simultaneously after a workout. It's a pretty normal gym atmosphere and a decent-sized shower with a couple of heads, not like a cozy bathtub shower or anything. Somehow this setup was mentioned in front of my sister, taking a house tour for the first time recently, and she was appalled. Appalled? Taking a shower? At the same time? Together? She was positively incredulous. I told her it was no different than the boys showering at the gym or their sports locker rooms at school. Guys, especially athletes, take showers. Yes, together. Happens a million times a day. She said that was very, very inappropriate. I called her a wacko idiot, and now she's not speaking to me or my wife. Not the idiot. If anything is inappropriate here, it's her for making a mundane non-issue into some creepy concern. That is indeed wacko behavior. I wonder if she's uber religious. Good on you, OP. What could she think is so wrong? I mean, getting 2 teenage boys to take a shower in and of itself can be challenging, so I would be happy if they were taking them as it is, whether separate or not. As far as sharing a shower together, they're close to the same age as brothers. Does she get all weirded out if 2 toddlers take a bath together? No, but your sister's the weird one here for being appalled. Does she also think it's weird at the gym or in a school locker room? If not, what's the difference? God forbid she hears about the showers in the military. Women's locker rooms are not set up like men's locker rooms, and there's a good chance she has no idea that men's locker rooms are much more communal than women's. When I was in high school, the guys' locker room was gang showers and had no doors on the toilet stalls, but the girls' locker had dozens of individual private shower stalls. So it's possible she just didn't realize what lockers are like for dudes. I say, everyone's the idiot here. The fact she sees everything wrong with that, and you calling her names is gross to me. My family's lives got thrown into chaos 3 months ago when my mom got arrested for some financial-related crimes. She's probably going away for the next 3 to 8 years. We're losing our house, and she and my stepfather are getting divorced. There's no good timing for any of this, but it's especially bad now because I'm in college on the other side of the country. My stepfather isn't even in the country right now, deployed, and my only sibling, my stepsister Stacy, is an older teen. By the time my mom realized she couldn't even make bond, I had only 3 weeks until winter break, so we agreed that it would be okay for me to keep my original flat back while things were still being sorted out. We decided that I would take a semester off school to help out until everything was settled. Having Stacy hold down the fort for that long wasn't ideal, but it's not illegal. The bills were paid and everything, so all she had to do was breathe and not burn the house down. She did not do that. She decided that all this meant she could do whatever she wanted and moved in with her boyfriend without telling anyone. The house went unattended, and of course we got robbed. They cleaned the place out. Anything of value that was left after the raid is now gone, including basically all of my stuff. That's what I came home to. I immediately called Stacy, but she blocked my number. I only know where she went through social media, and she wouldn't respond to messages there. So I had to start posting about all of this on Facebook to get her to respond. And now I'm getting crap for blaming her and putting too much on a child. I'm expecting too much? On top of having to drop out of school temporarily and everything else I'm responsible for, including probably ending up as her guardian, I now have to replace anything I didn't take to college with me and immediately scramble for housing. My only expectation of her was that she wouldn't just vanish for 3 weeks. That was her only responsibility, and she just bailed. Her being a minor makes her actions worse, in my opinion, because it's not even legal for her to decide that she just wants to go live on her own now. She was legally required to stay there because our parents told her to. I don't think I'm required to pretend she was just an angel to talk about it. Edit. We have footage from a nearby security camera that proves she wasn't involved in the robbery. Not the idiot whatsoever. Stacy is an older teen. She's almost an adult. You put your trust in her, and she betrayed it. She's the one to blame. It is the highest degree of irresponsibility to be effectively house-sitting for someone and then abandoning the house. And then on top of all that, she blocks your number because she knows she did the wrong thing. The camera only proves that she wasn't there when it happened. It doesn't prove she wasn't involved, or the sister told people what was happening and that the house was empty. OP, are you sure she didn't have friends or associates break in and or her boyfriend didn't do the same? It's not unheard of, and it would make a lot of sense, considering her life is also in turmoil at the moment. She knew the house would be unattended, and she'd have an alibi. Yep, it's too convenient that stepsister just up and left to her boyfriend's place, right in on time. If she had the house to herself, why didn't he go stay with her? I think Mommy planned it and Step knew, as she was told to clear out and stay out of the way. The smoking gun will be that none of Step's stuff went missing, because she'd conveniently taken it to the boyfriend's place. It's shady as heck. Honey, if you can afford it, fly back where you go to school and get a place and a job. Do not take a semester off or put your life on hold for idiots. Your mom messed up. Your stepdad has a family emergency and chose to stay away because I'm sure the military would grant him emergency leave to get things settled with his daughter. Your stepsister is not your responsibility. You are not the idiot, but the rest of your family is. I post my food pics from when I eat on Instagram. It's just for fun. I spend 30 minutes a week on it tops. My boyfriend is a very sweet guy in many ways, but one thing that I'm not so much a fan of is that he often hops on the bandwagon of hating innocent things. Not just not liking something, but making sure everyone knows he doesn't like it, even if nobody asked. I can't help but notice a theme. Pumpkin spice lattes, pouty selfies, Taylor Swift, etc. As you can guess, he dislikes the food pictures and thinks it's annoying and cringeworthy. He doesn't even follow my Instagram, even though he has an account. Even though I don't have many followers, I have started getting occasional offers and invitations from restaurants in my city to try their food for free in exchange for a review. Nothing crazy, no steak dinner so far, but I've gotten a few sandwiches and several baked goods. Well, I just hit the big leagues and got invited to a new restaurant opening with a free appetizer and entree for me and one guest. I immediately invited one of my Instagram friends, with whom I've gone out to eat on several occasions and who also enjoys taking food photos. I told my boyfriend, and he's angry that I'm not taking him and says that I'm doing it out of spite. I think I'm not. If the restaurant gives me free food in exchange for a post, I'll put more effort into the post and spend a few extra minutes ensuring I get very good shots. I'd rather do it with someone who isn't going to sigh and roll their eyes through the whole thing. Also, I think it's pretty audacious of him to be actively unsupportive of an activity that hurts no one, but then also expects to benefit when it's successful. Your gut feeling about this is absolutely correct. You're there to do a job, essentially, and his bad attitude would hinder you from getting it done right. Not the idiot. I want to also gently point out, as a married woman of 21 years, that for a relationship to work and be healthy and happy, your partner needs to be supportive of the things you're excited about. They don't have to be interested themselves, but they do need to encourage and lift you up. Your boyfriend is disdainful of your passion. Did you know disdain has been scientifically proven to be one of 4 predictors of future divorce? True story. To gently point out, the things he actively hates are all associated with women. No, he doesn't have to like it at all, but actively hating is a part of misogyny. I don't think this is a good guy. He sounds exhausting with his "I'm cooler than everyone else because I hate popular things" attitude. Go and have some fun with someone who isn't a sourpuss. Enjoy your dinner.